Hello, beautiful artisans. Welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. If you are new to the channel, jump on board. It's totally free. We create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. So I love your comments. Now, as you know, we're working on another yo-yo quilt, floral design. The beauty of this quilt is all these fabrics are vintage and they have floral designs. Now, I am so hooked on this, and I do that. I go through these phases. It's the same with Boro Sashiko inspired and Kawandi inspired. I could just sit hour after hour, day after day, just doing that one project, whatever it is I get into. So, and I bring you along with me. So these are very delicate, beautiful designs. And I'm going to put the camera down because I just want to explain to you what I just did. And I made this small. So you can see the yo-yos going across, okay, up here. I'm going to push that back a tiny bit. The yo-yos are going across and the yo-yos are coming down and then across. I'm going to make these even here. Now, how am I making them even? What I am doing is I am taking the center part of the yo-yo, which is this, the center right there, and I'm making sure that it is aligned up with the next yo-yo. That's the very first thing I'm doing. Now, is it going to be this big? No. So this is going to be a larger. So now typically, as you've seen in the other videos, we have a backing and we measure the backing and then, to typically like 21, 22, about 22 by 27. And that's really good because these are like about 7-inch diameter, and we kind of put them over the edge of that backing or the base, and it works out really beautifully. Now we have no base. We have nothing that is a construct for us to lay these onto. So it feels a little funny, but use your center as your guide. So with that, I'm going to show you. Oh, and by the way, this is my Halloween outfit. I have little pumpkins. This is the closest to orange I could get. It's a coral. And you know what? When I bought this, I was thinking kind of like a special occasion. And I was thinking this would be great for Halloween. I got it at the thrift shop for a few bucks. And then I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to wear it because Halloween, it's going to be chilly. Guess what? It's 78, 80 degrees out there today. Like, this is great. This necklace was a couple of bucks. I mean, and that's it. So you know what I am? I'm a woman who typically doesn't dressing up on Halloween. Boom. That's it. That's what I am. And my pants are the same color as this. And they're well, I'll have to model this for you one day. But today I don't really have the runway. We'll have to do it out in the hall one day. So anyway, to get on with this, what I am going to do, part of the design of this beautiful, beautiful quilt is going to be tie knots. Now, typically, let me just show you. I'm going to take this last row off right now. I have a number of yo-yos that I've been making, and I'm just going to bring this down just so you can see. And there's a fourth one here. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see these three. So these are in a straight line. The screen may be a tiny bit off there. Now, typically what they do, or what I've seen anyway over the years, is they take their thread and they put it through, you know how you tuck after you tie your little knot here really close to the gatherings, and then you snip it and then you put the thread inside and you kind of just let it in there. Well, what they do with that same concept is they take the needle and thread and they go inside of the yo-yo again, and then they come through this yo-yo to this yo-yo. Now, I do not do that. I find it much easier, and plus I like the aesthetics of a tie knot being on the front. I'm trying to get my tails here even. So you want a double, if you're going to do it how I'm doing it, you want a double thread, right? Make them nice and even. And then you're going to put these back to back like that. Okay, just put them back to back and you have your centers lined up that way. So you see that, and that way you can just put your tie knot. You're just going to tie knot it. That's all. And look how super simple it is, because right here we are going to snip it and we're going to tie. Now, if this tie knot is not even with your centers here, it should come in a straight line, just take it out and do it again. That's all. Now, the beauty of this tie knot is this, that as you go along, it's nice and flat in the back. There's nothing there. Now, you can go around a few times if you want to. And what I typically do is I want to see how the construct is, if I did it secure enough, or if it needs a few stitches. I have no problem with going back around and adding a few stitches to these sides. So we pull this to the length we want, and now, why is this a quilt? This is a quilt because it doesn't have 3 layers. However, when you think about it, okay, you have the bottom layer. If you did want to stuff these and make Suffolk puffs, let's say, that would easily be a 3rd layer. But you have the back and you have the front. So these are considered a very light quilt. So, okay, so we're going to do a few more here. But look, you see that right now? Okay, so now I'm going to, let's say I'm coming down this way. I'm going to tell you something. Look, I just want to show you this. Look at these beautiful designs. I mean, it doesn't get better than this. This is actually a peach. I was calling it coral the other day. It's actually a peach with white daisies and a little yellow daisy center. So, okay, so now let's say this one, I don't want to come down on this. I'm going to come down on this row, because this row, what you would do is continue in this way straight across. Now, something that I like to do is I like to lay out my whole quilt and then start connecting it. I don't know why I do it like that. I don't want to do it piece by piece like this. So I'm going to put this back down so you can see. So, okay, now I have my center here, and I want to make sure that the center, and you're like, well, Carmella, that's so like obvious. It is obvious. However, you could, if you're not being conscious really of it, you could end up a little bit over here. Or over here. You could. But yes, you want to use these as your guide. And then just fold the back of it. And this way you still have your center very visible. and you're like, okay, this is an absolute piece of cake. And it doesn't take that long at all. And even if you go back around and you do more of your tie knots, I will probably go through and trim these. I don't know if I'm going to even leave these connected right now, and this is the reason. I wanted to do this demo for you today, but I feel like I want to add one more design floral, and I don't have it right now. Now I do have um oh, the white snowball fabric, so I may use that, but I wasn't sure I really even wanted to use that. But so let me just show you this, okay, as we proceed. So so let's say we're going to go now look, we want to make sure our center is centered. I know that sounds like ridiculous, but this is what I mean. Sometimes after you sew and you tie your knot, look, sometimes you see the center off and down here. That's not unusual for that to come out like that. So you kind of want to just fluff it up, make sure your center's in the center. And let's see, I take this one is so pretty. This fabric, like I said, it's kind of silk screen, so it's a little stiff or whatnot. But I just want to show you like this. Look. So now we are, oh, I'm going to back up here for a second. Let me take those off for a minute. You can do the design this way, okay? But this is what my thoughts were. You can do the design this way, where you are going row for row. And that's how I typically been doing it. So that's kind of was like on AutoZone or autopilot. I was doing that. However, this particular quilt, we're doing the border. So actually, this one will come down here. And let me just kind of make a wider border, because when we do the center is going to be our blooms. Okay, it's going to be all different sizes. So you want to fill the gaps. Now, there's a couple different ways. Yes, we can do the traditional and just do row by row and then fill the gaps. But that kind of brings us right back to the design we've been doing, which is lovely. But kind of what I want is this space, by the way, is not going to be this small. It's going to be much larger. So once I get my little border or my border, as I just showed you how to do your tie knotting as you go across and use your center as your guide to keep it nice and even. So then I'm going to go in the center and I want to use the word random. I'm going to randomly start designing. And that's how I'm going to do it. And I think what I have to do is actually come back and show you more of what I'm talking about with these type of designs that I am thinking. So, and this is where I actually need more fabrics that are different. So look, but this is the idea. You kind of see it just coming together there. And here's a larger one. And then we go to a smaller one. This is how I am designing this particular piece. So, okay. So with that, if we focus first on the border, then our middle part of this is kind of like our canvas. It's kind of like where we're going to place our blooms. And so with that, we'll do one more. Let's see, do I have enough? I need more thread, and we will do one more. So with the thread, when you do this part of it, make your threads as long as you want. They shouldn't really get twisted, only because you're doing, one simple running stitch. That's all you're doing is a running stitch. So, okay, with this, now I'm going to put the camera back down. Okay, and we're down here. So I'm just going back to back. I'm making sure that my centers are lined up. I'm making sure that my thread is lined up with my centers as much as I can do, as much as I can see it. Sometimes you tie it and then you see it. Let's see if this is nice and centered or if it's off a little bit. Sometimes the yo-yos move a little bit on you. But a lot of times I do a double stitch, um, definitely a double knot. I double knot that. So look, the border is coming together. And so once I have the border, the outline together, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you the design that I'm putting together in the center. And I'll have more yo-yos at that point. I'll be better oriented to how I'm designing it at that point because my border will be complete. I want this border to be about 30 by 30. So, we're going to say 28 because we have 7-inch diameter yo-yos, and so I'm going to say that I'm going to say between 28 and 35, let's say, and then and once I have that, we'll come back. Now, with all of that said, tomorrow I will share with you all of my art and crafts that I am bringing to this Saturday event. This event, I'm not bringing lots and lots and lots of stuff because I don't have a big space. I have a very small space. So I'm only selecting um maybe four different things to bring, and then next Saturday we'll I'm have a little bit bigger space. Well, it'd just be a card table, but I'm not exactly sure the event Saturday. And Saturday, I will do a little clip for you and share that. But we'll come back tomorrow and I'll talk to you more about the art and craft fair. If you have art and craft fairs going on around you, this is a tip. Um, I noticed, and I didn't even notice this was not just 2020, it was before that. It seemed like art and craft fairs were becoming more and more and more popular. More and more artists were jumping on board and they were filling up faster. So my tip is this, because the one I'm in Saturday, it took me over a year to get in that. So I'm happy to be in it. But you've got to look a year ahead, basically, in my opinion, and be patient and just be happy that you're getting their attention, that you're going to get on board, and that you have found a venue because it is difficult nowadays. So just because there's so many people doing it to make a few extra dollars. So anyway, with that, I hope that that helps you. And just look at these beautiful, beautiful yo-yos. So, so probably I would say I will be back working on this by Sunday, and just at least making more yo-yos. By that point, I may have found another fabric in one of my bins that I feel like I can add to the repertoire. So, with that, I hope that you have a beautiful Halloween, a safe Halloween, and I'll see you tomorrow.